We acknowledge and respect the first humans of the unceded land we call San Francisco, the Ramaytush Ohlone. We condemn the genocide of these and other tribes across the Western Hemisphere. We honor their legacy and history, and we support repatriation and sovereignty efforts. The Giants haven't exactly had the kind of season we wanted, especially after their success last year. Nevertheless, going to a game at the ballpark is a special experience. Our day recording for this episode was the first time Michelle and I had spent a Giants game on the water in McCovey Cove. Turns out, it was made even more special that day by something that happened in the third inning. As we learned in part 1, McCovey Cove Dave, who was in the water that day, nabs around half of all baseballs hit into the cove. But this day, it was the underdog who came out on top.
I'm John Tegg.
John Tegg, and is this your first?
This is my first splash hit, a home run.
Awesome.
I got 2 foul balls.
You just now got this one, right?
Yeah.
Tell folks who aren't here what happened.
What happened, I just was, you got to be in the right spot at the right time and go for it, and, I was just, I know each day you just got to, I waited a few other days, whole games, nothing happens, and
No balls in the water.
Yeah, man, it's really nice. It's really nice. I can't believe it.
That must have been, the thrill of going for it and then getting it must have been.
Well, yeah, and it's a Giants guy, 95, and I'm stoked.
Just some quick context around how rare splash hits are. 2022 is the Giants' 23rd season in this ballpark. They play 81 games here each year, plus more when they reach the playoffs. That's more than 1,600 games played, with at least 3 batters coming up to the plate in each of the 9 or possibly a few more innings of every game. Of those total number of Giants at-bats, on that day in July, we witnessed only the 95th time a home run has landed in the water. The good news, if you will, is that they've hit 2 more since Lamont Wade Jr.'s blast. And as of this recording, the total number of Giant splash hits sits at 97. Now let's meet a few more of the colorful, vibrant, happy crowd in McCovey Cove that day.
Can you just tell us your name and
Yeah, my name is Forrest.
Cool. How long have you been coming out here, Forrest?
Oh, man, this is only my second time.
Second game ever?
No, second in McCovey Cove.
But second
in the
time
water
during the Giants game.
Yeah, that's right.
Because you look the part.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And that is a compliment.
Thank you. No, I rented a kayak this time. I have my own.
Yeah.
But I thought, this time I'm here with my buddies. I thought it'd be easier if I just rented with them.
What can you tell us about, experiencing a Giants game from McCovey Cove?
Oh, man, it's a lot of fun. I like the energy out here a lot. Everyone out here is really friendly. I definitely, it's the more economical way to go, too.
Right.
Let's be real.
Let's be
I packed
honest.
my own lunch, brought some beverages for myself, and, just came out here versus if you do if you go in the ballpark, everything's like $20 plus. So it's fun. I got my waterproof radio, so I can listen to the radio broadcast.
Man, you're like a pro. I'm going to call you a pro.
On it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
You said this is only your second game, and we just experienced the splash hit.
Yeah.
Is that your first splash hit out
No,
here?
The first time I came out here, my friends and I, we were a little more like, we thought a little more deeply. So we looked at which team was hitting the most home runs that year. I can't remember what year it was, but it was around the year when the Astros won the World Series.
Okay.
And the Astros at the time were hitting the most home runs.
Okay.
So we circled that on the calendar. We're going to an Astros game here at Oracle. So we came out here for that, and I think, they hit quite a few balls in the water. I can't remember how many of them were actual home runs.
Right.
Some of them
were foul.
Some of them were fouls,
right.
or some of them might have even bounced. But
okay.
But yeah, some of the balls hit the water that game too.
So you're a splash hit purist. Like if it bounces
not
in,
like
you're not.
McCovey Dave over here.
Yeah, we've just been talking to Dave a lot.
Yeah, he's my spirit animal. I want to be like him when I retire.
He's got a lot of information in his head.
I'm sure he does.
It's really impressive.
I was watching him earlier, and he's like, he was very stoic the way he was sitting in the water. He had his headphones on.
Yep.
I can only assume he's listening to the radio broadcast. But
Well, and you probably noticed that depending on the batter, he'll like move around. He'll position himself.
If it's somebody who's probably going to hit one over here, he gets ready.
But
for
like
it.
specific places in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's intense.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, Forrest, I think you're also. You say like it's the teams that hit the most home runs, but if you're 2 for 2, I think it's partly you and your presence. It's
God,
your
I hope
presence.
so. We should tell Gabe Kapler that. I should come out here more often.
I'm Jen. I'm from San Diego.
Oh, okay. Is this your first time out here, or?
Yeah, this is our first time in McCovey Cove.
Okay, because you look the part. You guys have your Giants gear on.
We're Giants fans. I grew up in the Bay Area.
Okay.
So we've been to lots of games, but this is our first time out in the Cove.
That's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
What? Why did you guys choose today?
Well, we're headed up just on vacation. We're going to Tahoe later this week. So this was the last game before the All-Star break. So we're here.
And we saw a splash hit.
Yes, so we saw a splash
How
hit.
was that for
it
you
was
guys?
awesome. We're sad we didn't get it, but
Right. Still cool to see, right?
Yes, totally.
Yeah. Cool. Do you think you'll do this again?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's super fun. We have our own kayaks and stuff, so.
I saw that. Can you tell folks about your kayak? Because
Well, we
they're not all inflatable.
Yeah, so they are inflatable. We have a paddleboard and 2 inflatable kayaks.
Nice.
We got them during quarantine when
Yeah.
there was nothing else to do. So.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
We were curious to know what it was like out here in the water during the COVID-shortened season back in 2020. Here's our captain again, Jay Brummel, to describe that scene.
Yeah, it was such a nice thing to just be able to get out of the house and, be kind of like part of the game because there was no other fans. There was just so quiet. It was the weirdest thing.
Well, there were those. Didn't they do the cutouts that they'd put?
Oh, that's
behind
right.
home.
Yeah, I forgot about it. So there was some
And I think
virtual fans.
people would pay to get their own likeness out there.
Gosh,
but yes,
that
there
seems
were
so long ago.
There were no. Correct. Time. What is time?
Yeah.
But there were no actual human fans.
Right.
What was the Cove like that shortened year? Was it crowded out here?
It was when the weather was nice. Yeah.
Right.
Because everybody was just pent up and wanted something to do, and this was a safe thing you could do outdoors with, you could keep 6 feet away from that other guy's boat, and if he got too close, you could put your mask on, and it was cool.
Right. It kind of reminds me of after 9/11,
Yeah.
when baseball came back, and they're like, now we're back.
Yeah.
Did it have that feeling of okay, now life is kind of?
It was.
Kind
That was
of
kind of
weird.
like the start, or it was starting to turn in the right direction. That we can at least go out of the house and be outside, and
It's some resemblance of the before times, even because I would argue that we're still not back, but
yeah. But yeah, there was the last, or I think it was a play-in game. But it was technically a playoff game, and if the Giants won, they would have been in the playoffs.
Right.
And there was 150 people out here.
Jeez.
And we were making so much noise. We're banging the side of the boat and screaming and yelling, and I don't know if the players could hear us or not, but at the end of the broadcast, John Miller was I walked over to the port walk, and there was so many fans out in the Cove, and they really were trying to make a difference on the game, and it was yeah, John Miller noticed us. That's so cool.
Love it.
But yeah, it was just such a relief to just be able to get out and be around people again. But it was kind of safe because we were outside, and
Yeah.
it was one of the few highlights of the lockdown for me, for sure.
Was it strange not hearing the crowd noise?
It was really strange. Yeah.
Did you come out more than once, or?
Yeah, oh yeah, we came out a lot.
So did you kinda
Yeah,
get-
I mean, you could hear the bat crack, and it was crazy.
Wow. So did you kind of get used to that type of experience?
Yeah, yeah.
And then I guess in 2021, they had just regular opening day with fans.
Yeah, well, there was it was limited capacity at the
Limited,
beginning
right.
of the season, and then
Right.
they kept gradually knocking it back up to full full strength. So
Right. Would you say it's crowded out here today?
yeah,
There's a
this
good.
this is like a little bigger than average for a Sunday.
Yeah.
If the weather was better, it would be like a few more people. If it was like a
Right.
Dodger game, a lot of times like Dodger people will drive up and like bring their kayak and then.
Oh.
But it's nice out here. It's like there's not all the animosity that you get on the land, you know. It's like out here, it's like, oh, you came all the way up here and you want to hang out in the Cove and you're a Dodger fan and you didn't bring any beer. Here, have a beer, you know. It's not
Right.
like F you, F the Dodgers,
Well,
blah, blah, blah.
It is another version of Northern California being like, hey, Southern California, here's some water.
Exactly.
And here's McCovey Cove Dave again.
I've been doing it over 20 years, but really as a regular since late 2005. And I'm hoping to go as long as I can go. You know, I'm 66 now, but I aspire for 75. I don't know if it's possible, but that's my goal. It's my goal, and I'd like to play more games in the Cove than any Giant plays inside. I'm in fourth place now, so it'll be a tough goal for me. But growing up, my favorite player was Willie McCovey, and he played 1,100 games at Candlestick, and I went to a number of them. But right now, Belt is just above me, but he's getting towards the end of his career, and Posey's ahead of me, but he's not moving any because he's stuck at 690.
Okay.
And
What's your number?
I'm about 620 today. I think it's actually 619 today. So,
Okay.
Right now, if Belt and Crawford are in their final year or two, then they'll stop, and then I can start gaining ground.
You can keep going.
The hard one is Crawford. He's the only person above 700 games. He has about 750 total games. It'll be tough. It'll be very tough for me. But if I can get to 900, I think I got him.
Where's the party when you reach
Oh, it'll be a big party. It'll be a big party if I get there. And so that's one of my goals. And you asked about like Barry. So Barry hit 35 home runs that were full splat and 3 bouncing. So I got to 39, one more than him in 10 less games. I'm just saying. It may be different, but
Yeah.
and so
you're saying you should be in the Hall of Fame as well?
I don't know. Well, you know, there is actually a chance. It's kind of crazy,
I think
but
so.
Hall of Fame my name has gotten brought up. They have
Yeah.
like a little, it's like a bathroom-sized room for fans.
Okay.
And so if you go in there now, it's actually people that have been to like 35, 45 straight years, and they made every game.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm different than I'm kind of a participant. So I'm not going to make the number of games they did, but I may have more games than any player at the park. So
Right.
So if I did get invited to join, I would donate my balls towards them and my old
Love
kayak
it.
and all that stuff. So I actually know someone there, and my name got brought up as an early mention. He's too young.
Okay.
But anyhow, I did get an honorable mention a couple years ago. So you never know.
We'll make sure that that the Hall of Fame hears this podcast. So.
But also, if the Giants create a Hall of Fame ever and
Yeah.
invited me, I would donate my stuff towards them too. So that's the one reason
Love
why
it.
I'm saving my special home run balls here, and lots of pictures. If they want it, I'll give them the McCovey Cove history, and I'd be proud.
Absolutely. I just remembered a question I was curious about with any of you all out here, which is, do you know, like, I'm thinking,
Yes.
for instance,
Yes.
this is sort of an analog of those folks in Chicago at Wrigley across the way.
Yes.
Are you in touch with any of those
Yes,
people?
yes.
Okay.
So what
Am
happened-
I right? It's kind of a similar experience.
It's the same thing. So
unpaid attendance.
So what we call ourselves are ball hawks, like the bird. And there's a nationwide thing. I talk to the ball hawks on other parks and congratulate them on their catches. And so
what are some other examples besides Wrigley?
So the people that I talk to are in the stands. So today there's some guys in the stands here that are trying, and also some of the guys up here on the arcade wall are people trying to catch home runs just like me, but they're trying to catch them on the fly, and they basically do the same thing, but not in a kayak, and they're trying to catch them in the air, but most of them, probably 90%, bounce a couple times before they get them. But we even have a website where you kind of log in. Like, I'm kind of 5th all time for the most home runs on there, but there have been people who've been doing this since they were really young. I started really as a 50-year-old is when I kind of got
And
the bug.
this website is for all of MLB or just here?
No, it's basically, it's all for all MLB,
Got
and
it.
it's mygameballs.com.
Okay.
Mygameballs.com. And but we talk. I congratulate people when they make a great catch. And I compete inside. I go to maybe 15 games at different parts inside.
Yeah,
so
I was wondering.
I actually made, in 2017, I made the fan catch of the year. They evaluate them on Twitter for difficulty.
Okay.
And I made the fan catch out of the year in 2020 here, but I made it inside on dry land with
a glove or bare hand?
No, glove.
Yeah.
Running down, almost looked like I was going to go over the edge of the bleacher in left field, but I hung on. And it was scary for others. It wasn't that scary for me. I felt like I could do it.
So I was wondering, Dave, what is it that makes you get in the water versus rowing?
Yes. It's mainly
what are the
because
conditions?
I need to. So let's say the ball lands between me and some other kayakers, and they're coming directly on. And every once in a while, our kayaks, like jousters, we hit like perfectly smack. And most of my competition will not get in the water. So if the ball is like in the front of us, at that point when I hit, I just jump in. I'm a good swimmer, and my son says, "Dad, it makes better TV anyhow." So,
nice.
So far I am a 9 for 11 in swim. So a couple times I've missed, but about 80%. That's it.
San Francisco Bay has drawn humans to this area for thousands of years. It's a huge part of the present-day charm and attraction. If you haven't been out on the water, hop on one of the many ferries and soak in the magic. For us, being aboard the Canoecycle, slowly paddling toward the cove from Mission Creek houseboats, and opening up to the expanse where Oracle Park sits, was transformative. Once the humans started making their way toward the cove in kayaks and other floating vessels, a true spontaneous community developed right before our eyes. And perhaps the best part of it all, going to a Giants game in McCovey Cove doesn't cost a dime. Music for the podcast was produced, performed, and curated by Otis McDonald. Original photography is by Michelle Kilfeather. Aaron Lim of Bitch Talk Podcast is our contributing producer. And the show is produced and hosted by me, Jeff Hunt. Now in our 4th season, we have more than 190 episodes available on our website, storiedsf.com, or wherever you listen to podcasts. If you can, please rate and review our show so we can reach even more folks. We love email. Drop us a line at storiedsf@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Stay strong, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time on Storied San Francisco.
This podcast is a proud member of the BFF.FM podcast network. Learn more at podcasts.bff.fm.
BFF.FM, best frequencies forever.